left join, right join, and full outer join. And the remaining join types we have to discuss in the today's session is cross join, self join. What is this inner join? The inner join means it is taking the matched cut from the both tables, right? So whenever you are applying inner join in between two tables by using a common column, so whatever the matched records it is finding, that records it will return. If I are coming to the left outer join, what it will do? So it will return all the rows from the left side table. Okay, it will return all the rows from the left side table, and whatever the records matched from the right side table. If there is any record is not matching, then it will show null value. Whatever the right join, it's a quite opposite to the left outer join, right? So it will take all the records, all the rows from the right side table. If there is any record finding matched one from the left side table, it will take that matched record. If it is not finding any record matched, then it will show null value from the left side result. So whatever the full outer join, that full outer join is nothing but union of left outer join and right outer join result. Okay, right. Whatever the cross join, it is multiplying the two records. It is multiplying the two records. I mean the two table records. Okay, right. So I will show you in Excel sheet. Right, I have two tables. Okay, and one is student table and one is subject table. Okay, the student table having a student number, student name, and the subject table having subject number and subject name and pass marks. Okay, the student is 100, Ram, and one more student we have. His name is Rohini. Okay, and the student number, subject number 1, science, marks are 35. The second one is maths. Okay, 35. And the marks, and the next subject is social. And this is also 35 marks. Fourth one is Hindi. This is just 25 only. And English. This is having 35 marks. Right. So what kind of result I am expecting from this? So each student and what are the subject and what are the pass marks. Okay, right. So the result is coming like this: student number, student name, subject name, okay, and marks, pass marks. Okay, right. So the first student is 100. The student name is RA. So whenever you are applying a cross join with this student table with subject table, so what it is doing, it will take the first row. Okay, it will take the first row. This first row will combine with all the rows. It will combine with all the rows. Okay, and it is showing the different combinations. Okay, and it will copy. Control C. 100 100 100 100 right? So this is cross multiplying with all the rows in this table, and again the second row, this second row is cross multiplying and it will take all the rows. Okay, 200 Rohini, and again it is multiplying all the subjects. 200 Rohini, 200 Rohini. Right? So this way it will cross multiply with all the rows in the right side table with left side table. Okay, so this is about the cross join. Okay, then how we can write the syntax for the cross join? Okay, right. I have some table like so to start EMP table. This table I am going to cross multiply with cross join department table. Right? So this is nothing but, for example, if you have how many rows? 14 rows, right? And this department table, how many rows? Okay, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows we have. Okay, and the cross multiplication is nothing but the number of rows from the left side into the number of rows from right side. So this employee table having 14 rows and this department table having 5 rows. So the final result will come like 14 multiplies 5. Total 70 rows will come. Okay, right. I'm executing this one. So 14 into 5. How much? 56. Right. 14 into 5, 56. The same result is coming. So it is taking all the combination. So each row it is multiplying with each row in the right side. That is about the cross join. So what about the self join? The self join is nothing but so if you want to join a table with the same table. For example, if you have an employee table, right? You have this employee table. So in what kind of scenarios we are using this self join? So this self join. So this employee table I am going to join with the same table. For what purpose? So this manager ID. If you observe here, employee number is there, manager number is there. So for this employee 7369, yeah, this employee manager ID is 7902. So this 7902 is nothing but the employee ID of this table only. Okay. So the managers and their employees all are in the same table. Okay. So EMP number 7369 employees manager number is 7902. So this 7902 employee number is, you can find here 7902. So 7902 is the employee. He is the Ford. Okay, right. So this person Smith manager name is Ford, right? So if you are coming to the second one, Ellen manager number is 7698. So who is the 7698 manager? Who is the 7698 employee number? Employee name 769 is Blake. Okay, so if you want to find out each employee number and each employee name and his manager name instead of this manager number, if you want to find out the manager name, then you have to join this EMP table with the same table based on this EMP number column and manager number column. Okay, and you have to give the alias name as E1. Okay, and so inner join I'm going to do. You can write any kind of join, but in that joins you are doing the same tables. So in the initially inner join, left join, outer join, what we are doing, we are joining two different tables, employee table and department table. But in the self join, self means itself it is joining, right? Right. So EMP table as E2 on E1 dot these tables. Okay, the first table manager ID. Okay, the first table, sorry, inner join E1 table manager ID equal to E2 table dot employee number. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do here, EMP number, comma, employee name. Okay, so you have to put from which table you are going to take these columns, because if this EMP number, EMP name existing in both tables, right? Because these both tables are same tables, so you have to mention from which table you are going to take. From E1 table, and this is employee name from E1 table. Okay, and the manager name is coming from E2 dot employee name. This is alias name as manager name, and this is employee name. Okay, right. If you are executing this one, right, Smith manager name is Ford. Okay, right. We will check whether the Smith manager name is Ford or not. Select star from EMP. Right, where is Smith manager number is 7902. So who is the 7902? We are coming to here. Ford number is 790. Okay, so who is the manager of Ford manager is 7566. Where is the 7566? 7566. Yes, the 7566 is Jones. The Ford manager is Jones. We'll check whether that result is coming in here. Ford manager is Jones. Where is the Ford? Right. The Ford manager is Jones. So this way you can join a table, self join. Okay, right. So you can join this inner joins, left joins, right joins, full outer joins, any kind of joins, more than one table. Okay, more than one table, more than two tables. You can join multiple joins based on the common columns. Okay, so this is about the joins topic. Okay, these are the most important things. Majorly we are using in the joins, inner join and left join. Okay, inner join and left join, these are the main joints we are using in regularly in real time scenarios. Okay, right. So basically in left join, for example, if you are going to join two tables, you want the data from the full left side data. So if there is any match record is finding from the right side table, then you can take. If there is no match record, then it will take right outer join. Okay, but if you want only matched records from both sides, then you can use inner join. But in that situation, you can lose some data, right? You can lose some data. If there is no match record is finding, so you can lose some data from right side table. It is not displaying all the data, right? If you want to see all the data from left side table, then you have to use left side, left join. Okay. Right. So the next topic we are going to discuss is subqueries. What is subquery? So this is one query. Self start from EMP. Okay, this is one query, right? Right. So I'm going to write down one where condition, where department number equal to 10. So it is showing all the information about the department number 10. So instead of writing this 10, I want to write down a query like select department number from department, where department number equal to 10. If you are executing this query, okay, if you are executing this query, the value 10 is coming, right? So the same value you are putting here. Instead of this static 10 value, I am going to put this one. You have to just open the bracket and close bracket, put it. So the same result is coming, right? Same result is coming. So what happened exactly in this subqueries? What is the meaning of subquery? A query inside a query. So this is the main query, right? Select star from EMP where department number equal to something. So inside this query, you are writing some other query, that is subquery. So what happened exactly? How the subquery is executing? So first, whatever the subquery you have written inside, so it will execute first this query. Okay, it will return 10. It will execute the statement and it will return the value 10. Right? The value is coming like this way. So this query is giving this 10 value. Okay, right. So whatever the value is coming from this side inside query, so that value is using here for this condition. So whatever the value is coming from this condition, based on this condition, this outer query will give the result. Select star from EMP where department number equal to whatever the result is coming from this way, it will give that result based on that result. Right? So if you observe here, this is a one directional query. Right? This is one directional query. So the result is coming here and that is coming here. So inside query first, it will execute the inside query and it will give a result to outside query, and based on that result, the outside query gives some result. Okay. So this is about the subquery. So there are two kind of subqueries in our SQL Server. One is correlated and one is non-correlated subquery. So this is a non-correlated subquery. Okay, this is non-correlated subquery. And what about the correlated subquery? So you can write down the correlated subquery here also. So how we are writing correlated subquery? So these subqueries you can write in the where conditions, okay, and you can write in a select statement also. In the select list also you can write down the this way subqueries. So you can put here, okay, and you can give as alias name for this column is subquery sub department number. So if you are executing this one, what happened? Right? So this column. So this column, this result 10, 10, 10 is coming from this subquery. Right? This in the select list you are putting this subquery. Okay, you can put this subqueries in the these kind of different locations. In where condition you can put, in the select query you can put, select list you can put, right? So what about the correlated subquery? How you are going to write the correlated subquery? So then what is the difference between this correlated subquery and non-correlated subquery? So basically this non-correlated subquery, it is giving the values like first the subquery will execute, inside query will execute, and it will give a result to the outer query. Based on that result, the outer query will return some value. Based on that result, the outer query will return the result. But in the correlated subquery, first select star from EMP, okay, and first this query will execute, okay, and it will give one row to inside query, okay, it will give one row to inside query. So right, so what I am going to expect from this correlated query, I want to find out the salary of a, for example, second highest salary in the employee table by using correlated subquery. How to find out highest, second highest salary? Okay, from the employee table by using this correlated subquery, right? Where, and you have to give the number. So which salary you are going to find out, which number of salary, second highest salary. Okay, second highest salary I'm going to find out, second equal to, and I'm going to write down the subquery, select count, okay, distinct salary from EMP table as E2, right, where E2 dot employee number, sorry, E2 dot salary greater than or equal to E1 dot salary. So alias name we have to give here E1. Okay, so these two people having second highest salary is 3,000. Correct. Scott and Ford having both having second highest salary. Right. How I have written this query and how this query is executed. Right. First, this statement will execute. Okay, and it's taking one single row first. First, one single row it will take. Okay, and so it is coming to it will give this first row to this inside query. Okay, right. So if you observe inside this query, the where condition is E2 dot. So this table dot salary greater than or equal to E1 dot salary, right? What is E1 dot salary? E1 table is this one, right? So first it is executing and it will give the first row. So E1 dot salary means the first row salary. What is the salary? 800. Okay, so it will replace 800 here. Got it? First, the outer query will execute, but in the non-correlated subquery, what happened? The inside query will execute first, and it will give the result to the outside query. Based on that result, the outside query return some result. It is a one-directional. But in correlated subquery, first the outer query will execute, and it will give one row to inside query. So based on that condition, whatever the condition you are writing in where condition, so this correlated inside query gives some result, and based on that result the outer query will give some result. It's a bidirectional. It is a two-directional correlated subquery, but in the performance point of view it is very bad. Okay, so that's why we are not using anywhere this correlated subquery, but we have to know how to write down the correlated subquery and what is the usage of the subquery, right? So if in interviews they will ask how to find out the nth highest salary, for example second highest or third highest or fifth highest. So this way if they are giving some number, so that number you have to put here. Okay, and you have to write down select count distinct salary from EMP as E2 dot salary greater than E1 dot salary. Okay, right. What exactly happened here? So 800 is coming here. So it is trying to find out, select count distinct salary. Distinct means if there is any duplicate salaries, it is counting like only one. Okay, right. So E2 dot salary. So that E2 table having all these salaries, all these different salaries. So it is trying to find out, is there any salary greater than or equal to 800? Is there any salary greater than or equal to 800? Right? How many salaries are greater than or equal to 800? So that count is coming here. That is nothing but count district salary. Okay, right. If that count is equal to 2, then it will give that result. That employees, that particular employees. So in this way, it will check out for each row. Okay. Then if condition is not satisfying, then whatever the count is coming inside this query, count is not equal to 2, then it is again taking one more row, the second row. Okay, and the salary is 1600. Okay, then again it is coming and it is replacing 1600. So all the rows from this EMP table, inside the EMP table, it is trying to find out all the how many salaries are greater than or equal to 1600. How many salaries are greater than or equal to 1600? It is trying to find out. So in this way, row by row, it is trying to find out. So once you are coming to here, so this is the 3000, right? Right. So coming to 3000. So how many salaries are greater than or equal to 3000? If you observe, so greater than 3000, there are only two. If you observe here, so these people having greater than 3000, and these people having greater than, this is greater than 3000, and this is equal to 3000, right? And these people also. So the condition is satisfying, count distinct equal to 2 only, because there are only two salaries greater than or equal to 3000, because this there is the 3000 is 1 and 5000 is 1, right? So two distinct salaries greater than 3000 are equal to 3000. So then it is written in count as 2. So it is satisfying the condition, and it is written in the particular people. Okay, the particular people. So this is about the correlated subquery. So what is the difference between the correlated, non-correlated and correlated subquery? The correlated, non-correlated subquery is a one-directional query, a query inside a query. Okay, so first the inside query will execute, and whatever the result is coming, based on that result, the outer query will give some result. But in the correlated subquery, first the outer query will execute, and it will give that result to the inside query. Based on that inside query, some result is coming to outside query. So this is a two directional, but the non-correlated subquery is one directional query. Okay, right. So this is about the correlated subqueries. Okay. Some of analytical function. So what are the analytical functions? One is row number function, and the rank function, and density function. These are the three analytical functions we have in SQL Server. Most important functions we are using. So what is the usage of this row number function? If you want to generate a sequence number, if you want to generate a sequence number based on the column, or based on the salaries, or based on the number, anything, so it will generate the sequence number. For example, select star from EMP. Okay. So if you want to give, if you want to generate sequence number for each row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, how you can generate, right? Right. So EMP number, ename, salary, hire date, EMP number, ename, salary, hire date. So now I am going to write down row number, row number. This is the function, in bracket open, space, over order by salary. You can maintain the descending or ascending order. Okay, based on this salary order, it will give the sequence number, right? So it's giving this. You can put any column can put EMP number also. As alias name is row number. It just generating the sequence number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Okay, it is generating sequence number for each row, right? So if you want to generate the sequence number based on the department number, for example, if you have a department number also. You have the department number, you see. Right. So what I'm going to do here, I want to find out the sequence number for each department. I want to order by department number. Right. So in which way what are the result I'm expecting from here is, so it is giving for each row, right? So but I don't want to give like that. So for the department number 10, for the department number 10, I'm going to give sequence number. And again, for the department number 20, I want to start this row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So after that, again, for the department number 30, I want to see the result. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So in that situation, if you want to do this partition, the partition means you are going to do this partition based on the department number, right? So you have to write down partition by department number. Okay, if you are executing this one, right, what happened? If you see, for each department wise, it is giving the sequence number. So again, it is giving for the sequence number for 20th department 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again it is giving partition for this department number 30. Right? So because the reason is you are partitioning on department number. Got it? Right. So this is about the row number function. So what about this rank function? So if I want to give the ranks based on the salaries, who is the top salary? Okay, I'm going to copy the same one. Control C. Control V. So instead of this, so this row number, instead of row number, I'm going to write down rank function. Rank function. Okay, over order by salary decimal. Okay, if you are executing this one, so it is giving the ranks based on the salary. See, the 5,000 is the first rank, right? So this is the top salary. So if you are coming to the 3,000, it is giving the second salary, and this third people also having 3,000. Same, two people having the same salaries. That's why there are two ranks are giving for the two people. So this is the third rank, 2975, right? But it is giving 4, right? But it is giving fourth rank. So whatever the third rank, right? So because in the rank function, what is the drawback? So if you have a rank with the two numbers, for example, two people having second rank, so it is considering as this is 2 and this is 3, like that. So the next one it is giving fourth rank. So there is a gap in between this second rank and fourth rank. Actually, this is a third rank because the second rank having two peoples, right? So how you can fill this gap? How you can fill this gap? So actually, this has to come third rank. This has to come third rank because this has to come third rank. So two peoples having similar salaries. That's what is showing two. Second rank is for two peoples. So if you want to delete this kind of gaps, you have to use dense rank function. Okay, instead of using the rank function, if you are using the dense rank function, it will give third rank, right? So the first rank 5,000 and 3,000, 3,000 is the second rank. The third rank is 2975. Okay, so it is filling the gap, right? If you want to do the partition, if you want to find out, this is entire employee list, This is in the table level, employee table level. You are finding you are giving the ranks for the salaries. But I want to give the ranks based on the department number. So in each department, which people having the highest salary, first highest, second highest, third highest. So again, you are going to the second department. So who is the first, second, third? So this kind of partition, if you want to do, you have to write down here partition by department number, right? So if you are executing this one, right. So in the department number 10, there are three ranks: 5000, 2450, 1300. So these are the three ranks in department number 10. And if you are coming to the department number 20, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4 ranks. The first rank is 3000, 3000. There are two people, and second rank 2975 is the salary, and third rank, fourth rank. So if you are coming to the 30th department, so these are the people having ranks. So this way you can give ranks based on the partition also. And if you want to apply this row number or density rank or rank functions based on entire table level, you don't need to do any partition. If you want to give these rankings and the row numbers based on a particular group or a particular department, you have to give that in partition by. Okay, these are the analytical functions in SQL. Okay, in tomorrow's session we are going to discuss about derived table. What is a temporary table, and what are the table variables and views. Okay, so these are the four topics we are going to discuss in the tomorrow session. Okay.